Well, I'm sure I'm going to make some friends with this video. Anyways, hope everybody's doing good today. If it sounds like I'm speaking gibberish or talking slow, I apologize. Sometimes when I talk for a period of time, I start to kind of stutter a little bit. So if I sound like I'm doing that, I highly apologize. Now, before I really speak my opinion about this and say what I have to say, I will say this right now. Do I understand that there's a lot of women out there that either get pregnant accidentally or, there's women out there that either get raped or sexually abused and they end up getting pregnant and they don't want the kid. I totally understand that. And then for health issue reasons, like if the unborn baby is causing a bunch of health problems and, the doctors say that they have to get rid of it, it's whatever. I understand for certain situations, people got to make that decision. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say this right now, so there's a lot of liberals out there, mainly liberal women, and then, liberal men out there, and then you got liberal politicians that are sitting there saying things like, well, it's my body, my choice, or, it's their body, their choice, you shouldn't be making decisions about their bodies and what they can do or they can't do with their bodies. First off, if you're going to sit there and say my body, my choice when it comes to abortions or whether or not it's your decision to get an abortion, but you're not going to sit there when it comes to people saying or, talking about things like getting the vaccine, getting a boosted, or wearing a mask. You really shouldn't even be talking. A lot of the same people that are sitting there and saying things like my body, my choice when it comes to, talk about abortions, those are the same exact people that are sitting there saying things like, well, you can't do this or that unless if you wear a mask, get vaccinated, or get boosted. So if you're going to sit there and say things like, oh, well, it's my body, my choice, you shouldn't even be talking. Like, seriously, you know how much of an idiot you sound like when you sit there and say, my body, my choice when it comes to abortion, but then turn around the next minute and tell somebody they have to wear a mask or get vaccinated or else they can't do certain things? You sound like a complete idiot. Just saying. And then another thing I want to talk about is something that I heard about the other day. Well, actually, this was a couple months back. So, I follow this Facebook group. It's a pro-life / pro-birth page, and for that Facebook page, they donate to a lot of people or a lot of women out there that end up having babies, accidentally, and that page helps donate money to women in need, which I think is absolutely cool. I've donated money before and it's really cool. But there was an article that popped up on that page. I apologize if you guys hear the wind. I got a window cracked open and it's getting windy now, but there was an article that came up, talking about, how this one woman, she wanted kids, she ended up getting pregnant, but her idiot boyfriend or idiot husband or whatever, I don't know if they're married or not, but, the guy that she's with is like, no, we're not having this baby, and I am not gonna share my health care insurance unless if you get that baby aborted. I'm sorry, sir. I thought it was a woman's decision as to whether or not she wants to get an abortion or not. And yet here you are sitting there saying things like, oh, well, I'm not going to allow you to do this or have that unless if you get rid of that baby. Really, dude? You know, if I were to meet that dude in person, you know, I wouldn't threaten the guy or anything, but I'd call that dude a fucking piece of shit and tell him how much of a scumbag he is. Man, men who are like that to their wives or their girlfriends or their fiancés or whatever, when they get pregnant and they say those things to their girlfriend or their wife or whatever, those people do not get my respect. I have no respect for those type of people. That person is a complete scumbag. I'm just saying. So with that said, you know, sometimes it's not even the woman that makes the decision to get the abortion. It's their ignorant, dumb fuck of a husband or boyfriend or whatever that decides to be a careless prick and decides they don't want to have that baby after their wife or their girlfriend gets pregnant. Especially when the woman wants to have the baby. You know, there's one special place that I can think of for a man like that. And I'm not even going to say it because then, you know, that'd make me sound like a heartless prick. But, hey, you know, it's whatever. Then here's another point I want to bring up. So, you know, I love how a lot of the liberal women out there on Facebook always share this one post. You know, it's a screenshot from Twitter of this one guy talking about how he's pro-choice and that, you know, pro-life men need to shut the fuck up and mind their own business when it comes to women having abortions. Then, you know, I hear about pro-life women, yes, I said pro-life women, that get on there and talk about how they're against abortions, how they think it's wrong, and they think that, you know, it shouldn't even be allowed. And of course, when they say that online, you want to know who comments and says a bunch of bullshit about how, you know, they need to mind their own business about it. It's not even women that are saying that that person needs to mind their own business. A lot of it is liberal men. Or men that just are just, I guess, jealous because they can't do what women can do. Like have babies or use the women's bathroom or whatever. I mean, okay, yes, there are liberal women that respond as well, but you know, you get a lot of pro-life women out there like Candace Owens, Kayleigh McEnany, you know, Ashley St. Clair, Isabel Brown, you know, the list continues. You know, they talk about how they're pro-life, and then, you know, there are so many people in the comment section that, you know, on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and whatever social media platform there is, and they get criticized nonstop, you know, all because they say they're pro-life and they're against abortions. Well, I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings that there are women out there that aren't pro-choice or pro-abortion, but you know what? Just because somebody's a certain gender, certain race, certain sexuality or whatever, that doesn't mean they have to think a certain way. Now look, again, like I said in the video earlier, I understand that there are women out there that get pregnant somehow and they don't want the baby. Or, you know, they get raped, you know, they get sexually abused, or somewhere along the lines of health issues occurs, or, you know, just whatever bullshit excuse, you know, a lot of other people like to use. But sometimes that's just life. Sometimes things don't go the way you want them to. But like I said, if you're going to sit there and say my body, my choice when it comes to, you know, women having abortions or whatever, but then you're going to turn around the next minute and tell others that they need to mask up, get vaccinated, and get boosted, or else they can't do this or that, then you shouldn't even be talking. I'll just say that right now. Like I said, you know, I am as pro-American and pro-freedom as can be. You know, I don't have a problem with people that want to say what they want to say. And, you know, people are free to say whatever. You know, I mean, I get it. I don't have control over that. It's whatever. But y'all love double standards way too much. And that right there is what's wrong with today's society. You can sit there and say things like this or that, but you can't say certain other things without other people jumping on a bandwagon. Now, for a lot of you people out there that are pro-choice or pro-abortion out there, and you support Joe Biden, I'll say this right now, a very long time ago, Joe Biden said that he was against abortions. Of course, he's all for that now, you know, because he wants liberals to stay up his ass as much as possible and follow everything he says or does. So, obviously, now that's changed. But yeah, a very long time ago, Joe Biden, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other liberal politicians out there, spoke out against abortions. But, you know, today, a lot of them are all for it, or, you know, a lot of them have turned around and said, oh yeah, you know, I'm all for it, you know, let's stick up for these types of laws. Which brings me to my next point, and this will probably be the last point I bring up, hopefully. How is it that liberal women out there are so quick, well, and liberal men out there as well, are so quick to sit there and be like, oh, well, men shouldn't be writing laws about women's bodies or women's choices or whatever? How is it you're so quick to jump on a bandwagon when a conservative politician does something about abortion laws, you know, either makes it harder for women to get abortions, or where they have to get a bunch of background checks to get an abortion, or they just want to make it illegal for most purposes? Then you got liberal politicians out there, more than half of them men, you know, like Chuck Schumer and a lot of them, that sit there and make it easier for abortions to happen. And I don't hear people talking about how they shouldn't even be making laws about that. I guess since, you know, they're pro-choice and they're completely okay with women aborting their babies, I guess that doesn't matter. I mean, shouldn't those men out there mind their own business as well? Or does that not matter because they support your guys' decision? You know, the answer to that should be pretty simple. Either you do want men to stop making laws about women's choices or women's bodies, or you don't. You can't have it both ways. Now look, I'm sure I probably pissed a lot of people off for making this video and saying what I said, but you know what? I really don't care. If you have something you want to say to me, then feel free to say it in the comments. If you respect what I'm saying, but you feel like you disagree and you need to say something, then whatever. I'd like to hear your opinion, I guess, as long as you respect my opinion. Maybe if you respect my opinion, I'll respect yours as well. Doesn't mean I'm going to support what you're saying. Doesn't mean I'm going to agree with it either. But I will try and be respectful as possible. Now, if you do like what I'm saying and you agree 100% on what I'm saying, then feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I don't really post on this channel all the time like I used to, because I'm trying to kind of cut away from politics a little bit. I don't really like to talk about politics much. This subject really shouldn't even be about politics, but everything's got to be about right versus left these days, which is unfortunate. I really wish we weren't so far down that rabbit hole, but we are. I hope and pray one day that won't be the case, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon. But anyways, that's all I really have to say for this video. I'm going to cut this video before it ends up being longer than it should. I know this video is already a long video, but it is what it is. So anyways, I hope everybody's having a great day, great night, whenever you're watching. And I hope everybody has a good life. Appreciate you guys taking the time for watching this video. And that's all. Peace.